Welcome to a new Monday morning routine. It's Coffee with Strangers with Kelli Lemon.
Hey, it's Kelli, and today I'm at Quirk Hotel to have coffee with Brian McDaniel. Brian can be seen pretty much everywhere. He's done stints at Ledbury and now Quirk. And his blog, Dirty Richmond, was once named one of the 10 best men's style blogs from around the U.S. So Brian, I don't know if you've seen the show or not. You know how I start off. How do you normally drink your coffee?
Normally I take my coffee dark, but I'm not the biggest coffee drinker.
Okay.
This is maybe number 8 of 2016.
Okay.
So I'm happy to have number 8 with you.
I know who you are, kinda. What do you do in this city?
My name is Brian McDaniel. I do a few things. I work at the Quirk Hotel. That's my full-time job. Also work at Blue Bones Vintage every Sunday. Every now and then I work with Goatacado as well. I think the main thing that ties all the jobs together and everything that I do outside of work, I like being a part of stuff that's something greater than me.
Okay.
That we're working towards a bigger goal, and that's just to make Richmond awesome.
Yeah. Where's home? How did you get to Richmond?
I'm from Chesterfield.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in Chester.
High school?
Thomas Dale.
Okay. And so right after you graduated from VCU, there was no thoughts to say, I need to go to LA, I need to go to New York.
In 2010, when I was in college, I could have sworn I was gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Could have sworn by it. Now it's 2016, I'm still here. I'm happy here. I think Richmond will be my home for a long time, but who knows?
Tell me what you've seen change.
So much has changed.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't know if I ever saw it coming. I think around in 2011, that's when things started becoming more noticeable. All of a sudden, all these restaurants started opening up. Church Hill, I mean, I never went to Church Hill until Proper Pie opened. I think that was 2012.
Really?
But it's really exciting, and what really hit me when people started moving into Richmond. And Richmond's a desirable town. We're always getting written up about cheap cost of living. You can do creative stuff by still having a job that you kind of bounce around in. And I think it's a really low stress living, and the quality of life is very high that I don't think I could have this quality of life if I moved to New York.
Real quick, today's episode is sponsored by Richmond Grid Magazine. A new issue is out, so get over to wherever you normally grab Grid and pick up a copy. Where do you live in the city or in the surrounding counties?
I live in Carver. I lived in the Fan for the longest time.
Do you bike?
Yeah.
Do you walk?
In the wintertime I drive, but in the spring, summer, and fall when it's nice, I try to bike as much as I can. I got a bike from the Richmond Cycle Corps. When I found out about it, I had to support them.
What do you do when Brian is done working? Like when you get home and everything is turned off, what do you do?
I was like laying in bed, having my phone, doing that whole cycle of Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, then back again, just an endless cycle. Before I know it, 4 hours have gone by, and I'm like, wait, what have I been doing?
Wait, when you go out, if you could tell me the last 5 places that you ate at or you entertained at.
Going out, I would say Balso is like number 1. As far as nightlife in the city, that's a place to go to. For food, Garnet's, which I mentioned earlier. Also, I like 821 Cafe a lot. Started going to Early Bird Biscuit Co. Strange Matter. Karaoke at Ipanema on Wednesdays.
How long have you been a vegetarian?
It might be 8 years.
Okay.
I was a sophomore at VCU. I'm very proud to be vegetarian, and I think Richmond's definitely helped me a lot out with that. I mean, when I go back to Chester, my mom and I had to go to a few different places before we settled on Chili's. Here, any restaurant, they're always accommodating. There's so many good options here.
Let's talk a little bit about Quirk. This is old Richmond history.
It is, yeah.
Turned new.
And then with Quirk, basically we're inviting people to come to Richmond.
Yeah.
And the way it's set up too is locals come here. It kind of led something, this kind of excitement, especially with what's happening with Broad Street right now, where now there's a reason to come to Broad Street, and this kind of feels like the anchor in a way. I feel like what I do here was just perfect for me. I talk about Richmond all day to guests, and I get people to fall in love with the places that I love and the city that I love.
It's not only just a hotel. There's a restaurant here. There's a gallery here. And then the rooftop. Yeah. Are you a big music person?
Yeah.
If I put your iPod in my ears and I hit shuffle, what am I hearing?
Well, probably be a cassette tape deck.
Oh,
I like cassettes.
You're old school for real.
Yeah, so it'll be on the mixtape that I made. And I also work at Blue Bones Vintage. That's right inside Steady Sound.
Okay,
so I'm at a record shop every week, so a lot of my money goes to that.
How do you feel about the music scene in Richmond?
So good. It's amazing too, because I feel like a lot of these Richmond musicians get such a huge following like outside of Richmond. There's a lot of really good bands, a lot of good music coming out of here. So I try to support when I can.
Good. What are you looking forward to as we wrap up summer of 2016 and get into the fall?
We have a magazine called Dialogue Richmond.
Okay.
It's 4 of us, but we're doing an independent publication. We're just highlighting people doing cool stuff in Richmond that people may not know about. Musicians, rappers, jewelry makers, just stuff that I think people should know about, stuff that we feel very behind, and people that we admire their craft and what they're doing. We want to share it with people. So we're We're doing it in print, so
Okay.
it feels good. The next issue will be out in the fall. Also, Richmond summer is just so great too. I love just bike riding in the summertime.
Give me your elevator speech.
Richmond, Virginia, the greatest city in America. If not, it's definitely up there. It's just the perfect city.
Yeah.
Not too big, not too small. Prices are just right. You can afford to live here. It's everything you could ask for in a city, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
And you get that, and it feels big at the same time.
To hear the rest of my interview with Brian, check out the Coffee with Strangers podcast in your preferred podcast app. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube, and get out and pick up a copy of Richmond Grid magazine on newsstands now. Oh, and get to coffeewithstrangersrva.com to subscribe to the newsletter. Okay, see you soon.